I love it. This topic, real quick,
Go ahead.
the first thing I want to start it off with is that this is something that I preach to my clients all the time. And there's a lot of different dimensions of this topic. But one of the things that I'm always saying, and I use this myself too, is that when we have expectations of our performance going into the gym, that in many cases is a bad deal. Let's use International Bench Day as a prime example. Somebody goes in there on Monday and he's expecting he's going to do X on the bench, and he doesn't do it. He's all butt hurt. He's carrying around a negative attitude for the rest of the training session. And guess what? That shit sucked. And even worse, he's got a negative association with going to the gym. So does he want to go back tomorrow? Not as much. So when you have expectations of things you can't control, you put yourself at massive risk of having a bad experience. And what makes this whole drill easier is when you go in there and you have a good experience day after day, makes you want to go back tomorrow. Because when you want to do something, it's a whole lot easier than when you have to.
Yeah, I look at it too from an athlete's perspective. You're not gonna have your best day. You're not gonna have your best game every game. So,
Exactly.
that applies to hooping. That applies to football. It applies to the gym. So some days you're not gonna be able to lift your max. You might fail, and it's fine. Did you get to
Mm-hmm.
the gym? Yes. Did you put the effort in? Yes. Are you getting better? Are you getting
Mm-hmm.
stronger? Are you contributing to your goal? Yes. So that's a win for the day. So even if you fail, you got to still look at it as a win for the day. And I think a lot of people, when it comes to fitness, then their expectations, they're not looking at the bigger picture. They want to, how much weight can I lose in 30 days? Whoa,
Yeah.
slow down. Your
Yeah.
expectations are out the roof.
Yeah. And I think if we're talking about expectations, I think what we should really help our audience understand is I think the expectation, if you're going to have one, is just to show up. And just if you keep the one simple expectation, just getting there, that
Yep.
right there, I think is enough because you
Yep.
start stacking all this other shit on you. Next thing you've got a whole bunch of pressure. And goodness gracious, we all have lives. Life gets in the way. The job gets in the way. The relationship gets in the way, and we're not totally on point. Next thing you know, we're not living up to all this crazy shit that we set for ourselves. And this is how people just quit. It just becomes too much. So again, I think we preach this all the time, man. You make the habit of showing up. That's the biggest chunk of the battle right there. So if you're going to have an expectation for yourself, just keep it simple. Keep it to the point where you get there. Even if you get there and you don't do much, you still got there.
Yep. And I think a lot of, I had a client today, actually, ironically. You got to be careful with who you're listening to outside of the gym. A lot of people have, like somebody told one of my clients, you've been in the gym for 6 months. You should be more toned than that. And this is coming from somebody who don't even work out.
Yeah. The
Let alone he could
bros,
be
the bro science is the best, dude. The bros know it.
listen,
We listen. We don't know shit. The bros know it all.
everything. And this is somebody who's not in the gym. So I had to explain to the client, man, don't let that affect you. This person is not putting work in. And the client has made significant change in 6 months. I'm like, look at you. You posting on Instagram your outfits every day because you like how you look in your outfits. So
Mm-hmm.
we're winning right now. So don't listen to that bullshit. Expectations can go one or two ways. What are the realistic expectations? Or like I said, look at the bigger picture. Let me commit to this for a year. And
Yeah.
then let's compare. Let's not compare after 2 months.
And then everybody's so different, and there are hyper responders, and then there are people that don't respond quite as well. And the
Yep.
suffering by comparison is because people have expectations that they're going to have success with what they see in someone else, and that's not a fair situation, especially with social media. You're basically, Kim, you're people are looking at somebody on social media. They're looking at their fucking highlight reel, and then wondering why they're not getting at. First
Yeah.
off, that the timeline that they put on was maybe a little bit skewed, and they're in the goon light. They're in the
Yep.
lighting that makes them look just right. They're in the outfit that it's the perfect world. And
Yep.
then you're sitting there in the gym looking in the mirror, wondering why you're not getting those same results. So the comparison to others, even if that person is like a training partner or they're in front of you, it, everybody is different. And you have to understand that you having an expectation of your success, especially compared to someone else's, is a losing proposition.
And then I want to add this as well as we're in the social media age. So when it comes to your fitness goals and expectations, always raise an eyebrow. Always be skeptical Because what trainers do is they'll post a transformation and be like, oh yeah, they did this in 3 months, knowing damn well they did it in 9 months or they did it in a year. People will get on there and lie to get your money. So that's another reason why you just gotta slow down with your expectations and not compare it to social media. It's the biggest. You got the biggest lies in the fitness industry on there ever right now. Be careful with that. Be mindful of that.
And that's a great point, brother, because when you're comparing your reality to someone else's fakery, or maybe it's not fake, maybe they just made it look a little better than it is. That's not a comparison that you want to deal with. And when it's really easy to want to quit something when you feel like you're putting in work and you're not getting back what you deserve, but you got to really calibrate what you deserve with the work you're putting in. That's one of the things I would say. Don't be bent out of shape about the progress you're not getting because of the work you're not putting in. So you got to keep everything in line. But expectations can be a really slippery slope because you have to have expectations on yourself that you're able to carry through with. And again, I'm recommending for you guys out there, just your expectations should be first showing up. If you got showing up nailed, like there's no problem there. Okay, at that point, if you want to start leaning into another one, give it a little thought. But it still needs to be. You need to have the second expectation that you have yourself really needs to be thought through with some real calibration of reality.
And then I'm gonna add this too. I know Keith, you ready to move on, but when it comes to your expectations, you got to be real with yourself and look in the mirror. So before you got these wild expectations, really evaluate what you're doing. You know, you got Bud Light and Buffalo Wing Sundays every NFL Sunday because your team is playing on Sunday. But you sit here and have these wild expectations. So be real with yourself. Now, if you want to have wild expectations and you've been on top of your game, you've been on your water, you've been eating clean, that's one thing, right? You still probably got wild expectations, but just be honest with yourself and your journey.
I had to jump in here with you guys in the gym with C. Marty Fit and John Anderson here. You guys are talking about fakery on social media and so forth, and my ears perked up because I saw something that I want to show you guys, which I think leads into the conversation you guys were talking about with Marty, the fake pictures, the perfect physique, even though that was shot 6 months ago. I want to show you guys something, which John, Marty, you guys see this all the time because the business that you're in, but I want to show this so you guys can educate Business Athlete Nation about how real this hoax is in this industry time and time again. Check this out. So this is Nikado Avocado. Recently shared his weight loss journey. Yeah. Who went skin left his fans be willing to post videos of the heavier weight. We'll get this.
I didn't know he went on a journey. That's pretty good.
That's what he really looks like right there.
Wow.
So he did 5 years of these videos here.
Yeah.
Hoaxing the planet that he was on a journey to turn into this. So while he looked like this for the past 5 years, he actually been posting videos of himself looking like this so that he can convince people.
How the hell did he make himself look like that?
So all these videos were shot years ago, and then he kept repurposing them. He kept repurposing them.
Oh, okay.
It was like, so y'all also stupid. See this double chin? Yes, I acted this out for 5 years in a row.
Wow.
So every few months, Marty, he would repost this video to get you to buy into the fact that he's still fat and he's struggling and he's lost. And that was his story. But the point is, and I just want to lead into what you guys were saying, is that expectations and reality are two different things. So just because you think somebody has expectations on you or your own expectations upon yourself, I think we really need to look at what might be behind the hoax of what's real and what's not real. Because especially John and Marty in this fitness industry that we're in and you guys are in, one picture tells 1,000 words. When was that picture taken? And John, as well as anybody, especially in the fitness bodybuilding industry, you get to a point where you shred up, you get your pictures taken. Shit, man, those pictures can live on for a long time and you can sell that image for a long time. For Johnny Anderson?
Yeah, you're in the contest setting or even photo shoot setting. You're creating a look for like a 24-hour period.
Yes. Yeah.
And that look will disappear real quick. But like you said, that photo or that video will last forever. But you know, one thing I do want to go back to the expectations real quick.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want people, I believe that used properly, expectations on yourself can be really helpful. Like I have a high expectations of myself. I have a very high standard for myself, but to keep in mind, that's something that I built in steps. I didn't just one day say, okay, I'm going to do all this crazy shit and then not be able to do it and quit. I had my first expectation when I was a fat little son of a bitch was just to get to the gym.
Yes.
And I got there. And then my next expectation was to train a little longer. And then it was to train a little bit harder. Then it was to eat a little better. And I just kept kept bumping my bar. But see, now it's a standard. This is just who I am.
Yes.
So expectations really can be helpful if you use them in a way that serves you.